All right. Well, we're back. Hey, everybody. I am your man, KTJ. They call me the Love Coach. Welcome to Love Coach Sessions live here. And we had some technical difficulties, but we overcome them like we do everything else. You guys, okay. So today we got a good topic for you. I want you guys to jump in the chat box and shoot your questions out, your comments out in the chat box there as well. I need you guys to, if you're watching this on the replay, let me know what you think. Write down your comments down below. I would love to hear what you have to say on this topic. You guys know we go back and forth on this. This is not solely about men. It's not solely about women. Look, there are men who want to know how women think. Okay, and so we're gonna cover that too. And I'm gonna need y'all help with me on that. But today we're covering how men think and what men are looking for in a woman. All right. So I need you guys, I need your backup, I need y'all support on this topic today. And I want to hear what you have to say. So this topic came to me as one of my clients was talking to me about her past issue, no, not really her past issue, and we weren't in the session. I don't talk about what we talk about in the session, but we were just having conversation. And she passively told me that the man that she was involved in with a couple of years ago, they were talking about getting married, they were talking about being a couple, they were talking about date going forward, taking the next step, and he flaked out on her, so she broke up with him. Fast forward a few years later, the guy actually married the next girl, and now they have 2 kids. So my client's like, Kel, what is up with that? And it's a tough thing, and she wants to know. She's trying to understand how men think. If he was so ready to get married, how come he didn't marry me? If he was so ready to have kids, how come he didn't have kids with me? And that can be very, very frustrating for women. Now, on the other side, for men have that same frustration. There's whole communities, new communities out there of men who are congregating, who are trying to understand how women think. Now, I know that sounds crazy, right? Hey, Deech, thanks so much for popping in. Look, I know that sounds crazy, but there are whole communities. So this isn't just going one way, and we are definitely going to cover it on the other hand as well. But there's a couple things that I want to cover here today that might just kind of help somebody out, give somebody some kind of hope on understanding the male species. I mean, I can understand, like, you're dating somebody and they don't want to take that ride with you, but they go ahead and take it with somebody else, and you want to know why. You want to know why not you, and that could be frustrating. All right, so I got a couple of tips, a couple of ideas to express today that might give you something to think about. And so you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in on it and shoot a couple of those to you right now. All right, so the number one, and if I couldn't give any others, this number one, I would just lay this one down below, and just let this one go. If I didn't have time to do nothing else, I would do this one, right? And that is one of the things that men are looking for in a woman. And I can say this as a blanket statement. Men are weak for a feminine woman. Look, I have these conversations, and you guys know I come from the background of working with males for 15, 17 years or so. And I had these conversations, and I'm telling you, almost everything else in life, everything else on my list for that matter, a man can probably get from somewhere else. Look, he can get love and compassion from a dog, right? Man's best friend. Man, dogs show up at the door when he come home and just want to lick him and play with him and roll around with him and show him some love, letting the man know he's happy to see him. A dog can do that, right? But a dog does not have the feminine qualities that makes the man feel more masculine. I don't know if y'all catching this, but listen to what I'm saying. The more feminine a woman is, the more masculine that man will feel when it comes to this relationships. That sort of thing. I see your comments. I'm gonna jump in there in a minute. All right. So now, along with that, if I had to add another one, it would be that compassion, right? I often joke with my kids. I say, you know what? I got a boy and I got a girl. Well, thank God I got a girl, because the boy, when I got sick, he was like, come in and peek at me and take a look, But my daughter brought me some tea. They brought me some orange. She said, "Daddy, did you take your pills today? What time you supposed to take your pills next?" Like, and half the time she knew and I didn't. So if a man is, yes, he wants to have a son to carry his name, but a man desires a woman who's compassionate. Women just like having a woman that cares, just cares, is a powerful thing to have. All right. Let me jump in here and see what he said. She said, "Yeah, right. I'm super feminine and haven't been asked on a date in years." Yeah, right. I know that's a lie. No woman that's super feminine, and I seen how super feminine you are, would be not asked on a date in years. I know that's a lie. All right, let's keep going, you guys. Another thing that a man desires in a woman who he's going to take the long ride with, right, is a woman that's appreciative. Now, I know, like, all this stuff seems corny, right? But I'm telling you, appreciative and accepting, right? Every man has flaws. Every man has this thing. Listen to this, ladies. Sometimes men feel like they have to always carry the mantle of masculinity. A man has to be strong. A man has to be fearless. A man has to be not stuck in his feelings. A man has to be, put on airs and display strength all the time. But you know what? Sometimes a man just wants to just be. And a woman who can just accept him for the strength, but also allow him to show that he doesn't always have the answers, to show that he's not always strong, to show that he's not Superman all the time. Sometimes he's Clark Kent, and Clark Kent gets his heart broken. Clark Kent gets fired from his job. Clark Kent has regular things that happen to him. He loses money. He loses opportunity. He gets passed over for opportunity. All those things that a man really, and listen to these things that I'm going to talk to you guys about. Most men are thinking this on the surface, and so he's not going to really even, if he thinks about it, he'll probably agree. But on the surface, he's not going to agree, because that's not what our culture supports. Our culture says if you are a real man. Now let me ask y'all something. How come there's nothing that asks if a woman is a real woman? A woman doesn't have to do anything to be considered a real woman. There's not even a real woman is not even really a phrase that's used, right? But a real man is a phrase that's used all the time, and sometimes I'm telling you, it can be a heavy weight on a guy to always have to carry the charge of masculinity and always has to show strength. So I'm telling you, a woman has that ability to reassure him, you can cry. Let him know let it out. Let him know I'm here for you. I'm with you. And if you feel sad, you can feel sad here. You can feel safe here. Listen. If y'all take this game, I'm telling you right now. If you take this game, I'm telling you right now, you're going to get a real insight into the masculine mind and how to really deal with some of these issues. All right. So I think that, and there's nobody. Look, you could have you a wonderful, happy dog. Nobody can do these things and make a man feel like this, like a woman. It's the truth. Let me jump over here to the chat. Deej, she's my girl today. She says it's tough enough to saying that publicly, yeah, but to do and then be called a liar, wow. About women needs to be held accountable too. Yes, it depends on who you're around. Plenty of people ask about that. What we talking about? Ask about what? Women need to be held accountable too. Okay, I get what you're saying. Depends on who you're around. It does, and so this stuff could be challenging. It could be very challenging, but just understand that men desire to be accepted. All right, let me push on and appreciate it. All right, another thing men are desiring. Let's keep it going. I put up a post not long ago talking about a man desiring peace. You'll hear men talk about this often, like saying that a man desires to have peace. He desires to have a place. And I often say men are looking for a soft place to land, and women are often looking for a hard place to land. You know, men are desiring, like since I talked about having to carry that masculine energy around all the time, and then when he comes home, he doesn't really want to have to fight at the house, because he had to fight at the job. He had to fight through traffic. He had to fight in all these areas. And then to come home, a man doesn't want to have to do battle at home. He wants a peaceful atmosphere. Okay. So, I mean, look, how you can ask, like, okay, well, how do you create a peaceful atmosphere? A lot of people like to do aroma candles. Look, I can tell you what, there's one aroma that is more welcoming than all the candles you can imagine, and that is dinner. Okay, having dinner ready, having prepared dinner. Now check this out, you guys. I know of this couple. Okay, the woman says to her man, could you make me a plate, make me some food, right? He goes into the kitchen and would make a sandwich for her. Let's say make me a sandwich. He goes in, slaps the mustard on there, mayo, a little bit of mayo, grab the buns, grab the meat, grab the cheese, put it all together, and just here. And she's like, she looks at the sandwich, and it's all slopped up together. It's all like, it looks like somebody who's blind made the sandwich. Okay. And she gets mad at him and say, why'd you bring me this? How are you going to serve somebody some food that looks like this? To him, he's like, well, you asked me for a sandwich, so I made you a sandwich. What's the big deal? Right? But what he doesn't understand is it's the way you do something, right? The way you do something speaks about how you feel about the person that you're doing it for. Okay? So what I encourage him, I say, you know what? And I just kind of just do this because I think of it differently. I think that when I'm making food for somebody, making somebody a plate, I wanted to look as close to the restaurant as possible. Like the restaurant, they don't send money food out that's all slopped together and slopped over here and look like there was no care. No, the food comes out, it's not touching. It was like artfully prepared. Even if it really wasn't artfully prepared, you can tell a plate that came from the restaurant kitchen from somebody who didn't care back at the house. So when I'm back at the house, I'm making a sandwich. I want to make the best sandwich I possibly can, because I know I'm going to hand that over to somebody and they're going to eat that. Okay. So for some of you ladies, look, sometimes you may have to tell a guy how to do some of these things, or you just display it. So having and it's amazing how food makes people care, shows care. Food shows care. So we're talking about keeping the peace and having a peaceful environment when that man comes home. Every man wants to come home to love, to peace, to a beautiful environment, relaxing environment. And a woman that could create that is invaluable. All right. All right. Moving on. All right. So I got one more for you. And that is a man is looking for a woman that is affectionate. Okay. A man is looking for a woman that's affectionate. I've known some women who just weren't affectionate. Maybe it's how they grew up, because back in the day, the men used to come home and mom and dad sometimes, and they'd say, I don't have to tell you I love you. I'm feeding you, aren't I? You did have dinner, didn't you? Okay. I don't have to tell you I'm not, I don't have to say I love you. I'm showing you I love you. But you know what? Some people need to hear that they are loved. Okay. And some women may not have gotten that that warm environment of love from their parents. So sometimes she will teach, bring that on to her children. All right. So I love you. Affection. A man is looking for an affectionate woman. Now, affection doesn't mean sex necessarily. It just means caring. It means thought. It means putting one's self behind and helping to create a beautiful environment for someone else. All right. Affection, being affectionate. So these things are things that men are looking for in relationships. And if you guys have some more thoughts on this, look, I'd love to hear more of that in the comment section. We could talk more about this, but I think it's important for us to understand what men are looking for. Yeah, we want to know what women are looking for too. Trust me, we do. But we also need to understand, like, why are men doing the things they do? Well, look, I got a couple of conferences and a couple of things that are coming up that we're going to go deeper on these issues. I got a couple of workshops coming up that I want you guys to be in on. So stay tuned to us, and you can continue following me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Love Coach Atlanta, or at Kelvin Troy Johnson everywhere else. All right. And look, don't forget to join the Patreon community and hit that like button before we get out of here. You guys have a great day. Till next time, peace and love. Bye.